This week's Race Weekend features the young guns of Loops Traders' Shell Helix Ultra Racing team. We find out about the team, how it started, and more about the up-and-coming stars of local motorsports being nurtured by the team. It's still more than a couple of months away, but many racers and teams are already preparing for the 2020 Philippine GT Championship. Blue Stratos Shell Helix Ultra Racing Team, also known as the Team Big Chill, is among teams already shaking down cars to be entered in this year's Philippine GT, which flags off with its first leg on May 30 to 31 at the Batangas Racing Circuit. The team is betting on young racers, Paulo Santos, Gabby and Andre Tan, to banner its championship run this year. Race Weekend talks to the young guns of Team Big Chill to learn about the team, how they got into racing, and their preparations for the 2020 GT season. First off, how did Team Big Chill come about? According to Paulo, the team started out as just a barkada who liked the distress after racing events with the help of some spirits.
Team Big Chill started with sina Tito Ding, Tito Peewee. Tito Ding is the head mechanic for the cars, including Tito Docs. Team Big Chill is basically every after race, mag-iinuman sila. So that's what the Big Chill is for. Like they really drink beer after a race. So ever since, even when I wasn't even racing, when I didn't know sina Tito Peewee, that was their team.
Later on, the racing became more than just weekend adrenaline adventures and a chilling after races. Sponsorships were acquired and young drivers were recruited to beef up the team. Apparently, with the sponsorship came the need to recruit talented young drivers.
I started 2018, but I started driving with them with Stefan Rivera and Gabby the same year. For endurance, which we joined, I think FM3 for like 100 horsepower or less, which was Paulo's GT100 car before.
Yeah, similar to how Andre started also. We started in 2018 for the endurance race, and then I completed the whole season as well under Team Shell for Force.
Before Team Big Chill, how did the three young guns get into racing, and who influenced them to try motorsports?
I started racing 4 years ago in the Motorsports Development Program. Then a year after that, I went into slalom racing in Phoenix National Slalom. After that, I went into circuit racing naman in Flat Out Race Series. And then I continued slalom alongside racing in AAGC in Indonesia and in Taiwan. My biggest influencer in motorsport is my Tito Mark. Shout out to Tito Mark de Sales, because he was the one who influenced me to start racing and guided me along the way.
So I started racing in the Flat Out Race Series, I think 4 years ago, or 3 years ago. I think 2017, first full season ago. From there, I just continued racing in Force, and then we started joining endurance with the Shell team, and then joined GT last year, and then here this year. Pero dad ko, he's my biggest influencer to start racing is because he gave me a Civic, then first time na medyo ako nag-initiate na pwede ba ako sumali mag-race. Sabi ko, sige, pwede naman. Nadire-diretso.
I started racing 5 years ago, a year before Andre, yeah. Started in slalom, then autocross for the first 2 years. And then we went to Force at the same time, me and Andre. At that time, I was a Grid D, so I was overall champion for Grid D. And then a year after that, I went to GT 200. My biggest influencer was Tito Peewee Menjola. Since I was a kid, he was, I guess my dad would bring me to the races. It would just be in parking lots for slalom nearby. He'd let me ride with him. And ever since, I guess Tito Peewee was the one, he was actually the one who influenced my dad to race. So nadamay na rin ako dun. So.
The young guns soon experienced the advantages of racing for an established team, but this comes with an added pressure to perform.
With having a team back us up for every race weekend, I think it takes off a lot from our shoulders. At the same time, putting on a lot of weight back. Kasi there's pressure to perform. Of course, we want to put on a good show, and then we always have to act accordingly. because we're carrying their name. It's not just ours. So it's nice to get the financial support. It's nice to get, at least for me and Paulo, the free ride pretty much. And then it's nice that we get support from the titos and the ones who have more experience than us.
In last year's GT Championship, Paolo and Andre competed in the same class. The teammates were encouraged to always race to win and score points for themselves and the team.
Oh, it was up and down because so many stuff were happening. I guess like there were races where I'd be last because of like problems in the setup and also like the tires and everything with my brakes.
I think the season, it went as well as it could have. Because we did face a lot of challenges. In the first half of the season, I didn't have any problems with the car. It's just me getting used to the 200 horsepower and then the a bit heavier car compared to what I was used to. And then also the grippier tires because I didn't really use grippy tires before. Nagaya yung car ko sa nagkaroon ng issue with Paulo's car. Same issue with Paulo's car, yung brakes.
Yeah, the brakes.
And then it happened out of the blue, so there's nothing we could do to save that car.
Gabby wasn't as active in racing last year, taking a long break from competition to concentrate on her studies.
I focused on my studies because I was a graduating student. So I just graduated last year. So that whole year, I stopped racing and then pasulpot-sulpot na lang yung pag-race ko sa circuit. But I also entered into international racing for Gymkhana.
Gabby will be competing in the GT 100 class and is determined to do well in the coming season with support from her teammates.
Actually, my motivation has been my teammates because they're the ones who always guide me on how to improve myself, how to improve my runs. So I always take criticisms openly because I'm very open to feedback and I want to prove myself to them that even if I'm a female in a male-dominated sport, I can always do better.
This early, the team is deep into preparations for the coming season, shaking down their cars, fine-tuning setups, getting themselves fit to race a complete season.
Since the last shakedown, we're still trying to figure out how we can modify the car better because I'm still trying to build my relationship with the car, so I'm still getting to know the car better because I haven't raced it for a whole season yet. So I've only tried it out for circuit twice pa lang. So definitely need more track time, so we'll work on that before the season starts.
For me, kasi it's hard to gauge what we're doing, yung progress from last year. Kasi we have a whole new chassis at least for me, for the yellow car. But I think comparing it to the other GT 200 cars, I think that the yellow one, the one that I have now, it's gonna be fairly competitive.
Ako mismo, I have to shed off mga 30 pounds. Then maybe, it's more of the seating position and like
Pedal placement.
pedal placement, trying to get the right handling, maybe try new setups for the car, but just basically that.
All three Team Big Chill young guns are expected to focus on the GT Championship this year, but will still be racing on other events when possible.
Ako, I might join a few slalom races. So that's a way for me to get to know the car better as well. So I'll try my best to join slalom again this year.
Well, I joined slalom the last week one, and then I might join autocross or super sprint, like just for fun, I guess, because I want to bring out the starlet also. But mostly just that.
So I'll be racing with a GAC endurance team again this year. So we're gonna be joining the 4R Kagitingan Cup in March 28-29.
The trio of up-and-coming stars of local motorsports is grateful for the opportunity to be part of Team Big Chill.
For this year, we will be using Shell Helix Power and Shell Helix Protect. It's a new product from Shell, and they'll be sponsoring us for the season.
Okay, so we'd like to thank our main sponsor, Shell and Lube Traders Corporation. So Shell Helix Power, Shell Helix Ultra, Shell Helix Protect.
We'd also like to thank Tito Dax of TS Tuning, Tito Ding, our chief mechanic, and the rest of our mechanics for the team, and Team Big Chill as well.
And also, lastly, we want to thank MSDP, AAP, and Tito Mark Desales.
Race Weekend will be looking to feature more teams and members in future editions. Looking forward, motorsports is certainly alive and well because of the teams looking to nurture young talents towards successful careers or helping out weekend warriors and enthusiasts enjoy their favorite motorsports discipline.